This is a basic vanilla eggless cake that's so moist, fluffy, and delicious. Personally, I don't love eggs, but once in a while, I have 1 or 2 eggs. So if you're not a fan of eggs, this recipe is worth trying because the outcome is going to be incredible. I have few ingredients listed in the description box, minus the eggs. So to start off making this delicious cake, you're going to preheat your oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Over here, I've already prepped my baking tin. This is a loaf tin and I've lined with parchment paper and sprayed with baking spray. If you don't have the baking spray, you can simply use some margarine and sprinkle a little bit of all-purpose flour. In your mixing bowl, you're going to be adding in half a cup of margarine. I prefer using margarine because it's affordable. Using a hand mixer, you're going to whip up the margarine for around a minute until it changes color from yellow to pale white. That is going to make the margarine very fluffy. Prep the bowl as you whip up the margarine. After a minute, the margarine is going to be very fluffy and ready for the next step. Next, we'll be adding in 3/4 cup of granulated sugar to your bowl. And using a mixer, I'm going to combine the sugar together with the margarine. And because the margarine is already fluffy and soft, it's going to be so easy to combine with the sugar. Once done, you're going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla essence into the margarine and sugar. This is going to add a lot of flavor. So I'll pick my mixer and mix for around 2 minutes. This is going to create air pockets into the batter, which are going to make the cake very fluffy, and also it's going to help the cake rise because we are not adding any eggs. Now I'm going to be adding in some salt, and the salt is to balance the sugar in the cake. So I'm going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And using your spatula, you're going to mix in. Next, I'm going to be adding in the rest of ingredients. So I have some all-purpose flour and plain yogurt. The yogurt is going to substitute the eggs and it's going to make the cake very light and fluffy. So this is the trick to making a very fluffy eggless cake. So I'm going to be alternating the plain yogurt together with my all-purpose flour. So I'm going to add in a little bit of like half of the all-purpose flour. Using my spatula, I'm going to fold in. I'm going to add in half of the plain yogurt. Fold into the bowl together with the rest of the ingredients. Add in a little bit more of the all-purpose flour. And the rest of the yogurt. Don't forget to scrape the bottom of the bowl to make sure everything is combined. And once the batter is ready, I'm going to be transferring to my already prepped baking tin. Scrape the bowl. Go in with my spatula and level up the batter. Make sure to go into the corners. Once done, you're going to be baking your eggless vanilla cake for around 30 to 40 minutes. And to check if the cake is ready, you're going to insert a skewer in the middle of the cake. Once the skewer or toothpick comes out clean, the cake is ready. The cake is ready, so I'm going to take my pan and place it on my countertop. It has taken me around 40 minutes to bake the cake, and I love the golden brown color on top of my cake. And you can tell the cake is ready simply by looking at the size of the tin, because the cake is fully released from the tin. So I'm going to be cooling my cake on my countertop for around 10 minutes. Then I'm going to invert the cake and cool further or cool completely. My eggless vanilla cake is ready and it's looking so good. So I'm going to use my serrated knife and cut my cake. After slicing through my eggless vanilla cake, the cake is looking light, soft and fluffy, and you can actually tell the cake is baked through because of the cake crumb. You'll notice that the cake crumb of this eggless cake is a little bit different from cake made with eggs, but trust me, it's delicious, it's fluffy, and it's just perfect. So I'm going to be having my eggless vanilla cake with some afternoon tea, and I'm surely going to enjoy. So trust me, this is a cake recipe worth trying because it's just perfect.